Madcaptoys. I've got some news for you guys today that are eBay power sellers such as I am. And I have the answer to why your sales have been dropping off the face of a cliff, like many of us, on eBay. This Friday, roughly around 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. our time, my wife and I called eBay and we talked to yet another personal representative of eBay Incorporated. We had some question and answers. The phone call was 15 to 25 minutes. I don't exactly remember, but I'm going to give you the best description I can. I'm doing this off script again. I'm here at the Christmas cottage. And many of you know, and I want to give you a little background on this to put it all into perspective. Many of you guys know that I've been on eBay since 1999. We were originally, and in this I say in the sense of thousands of other sellers, one of their original eBay power sellers. We originally started in 1999 as a buyer, as did many people. Then we looked in this and said, hey dudes, we can make some serious cash too. So we became a seller. Now many of you guys know, we'll roll the time clock forward about 20 years. We're into 2000, I believe it is 19. So a lot has changed in eBay. We've gone through the Whitman era. We've gone through this last era that we've had where, I'm frankly glad he's gone. I'm not going to mention his name. And, we've had a lot of changes. A lot of milking and bilking of the sellers. A lot of the algorithms have changed. We've had change after change after change. Some have been good. Some have been really bad, in my opinion. We're currently just recently gone through another algorithm update according to this representative that we talked to on Friday. And again, the representative from eBay was very kind and polite and business oriented, and he seemed to hope, at least from the tone of his voice, that things would pick up for us and others. We at one time last year, and this is where I want to get to continually to move the story forward, we last year had got up to, at one point, 465 percentage points above ourselves the prior year. At this point, I don't know what everyone can see. I don't have a snapshot of it, but I'll let you take my word. If you do, fine. If you don't, fine. But at this point, we currently are 32.9% down. Now, guys, if you notice the name up above, we're Madcaptoys. That makes no logical sense. September, the second week of September is usually where our engines are all pushing. All cylinders are firing. Everything is on fire. We're just kicking out the product like you couldn't believe. Okay, we're used to doing, hundreds, if not maybe thousands in a day, and definitely in a week. And now we're lucky to do for this month. I've literally got it here. And that's why we call this the no BS market here. I am at $483.43 worth of sales on eBay. Now that's, again, not including our store sales, which, hey, that don't include eBay sales. So, we're talking eBay here. But for a guy that sells toys to be going into what I count on my counter as the third week of October, that's just trash. That's BS. I don't care how anybody puts it. Now, most sellers should have an uptick in our sales at this time. Now, for me, myself, and my store, we have an uptick all the way up till probably about the first week, second week of May, depending on when people's tax returns start to die out and everybody spend all their money. But I was talking to him and said, hey man, we was up, and you've got the record there, you got the snapshot of all that we're saying here, it's true. I said, everything we've got, I want you to check everything and see if there's anything that we're doing wrong. Is there anything that we're screwing up on with our new eBay algorithm that you put out there? And he said, your metrics are good, you're a top performer, you're a top rated seller, your shipping is in line, you ship them out within a day to 2 days at most, or really within the limit of what we say we're going to ship an item out to. Everything's good. Our metrics are great. Our feedback's good. Never mind the fact that, like everybody else, if you're doing a mass amount of things, you're bound to catch one or two that's negative. But he said, your feedback looks good. I said, okay. I said, I've got an idea having worked with computers before, what the problem is. You've done an update, correct? Yes. We have redone our algorithms the last couple months. Note that. By the way, when my cells started to fall off the face of the planet here was at the 1st of September. Now September, I came within 5 cells of the year prior to being where I should have been, roughly. But our projection was a 40% increase over last September. We didn't hit it. We was 2.1% up. After September into October, we started going down like a rock in a creek. So I said, okay, now you see our name, Toys, Madcaptoys. This is our time. So what's the problem? I said, I've got an idea. I said, but I want to hear what you want to tell me first. He said, sir, I see you've been on eBay for a long time, correct? Yes. Buying and selling, correct? Yes. Your metrics look awesome. Everything looks good. You're top rated. Your shipping time is awesome. Your shipping, your feedback, all the metrics, all the descriptions, etc. that you have online to your sellers, and when they rate you on it, all looks good. Very good. You've got a gorgeous, and this is his word, a gorgeous snapshot of what's going on right here. It looks gorgeous to me as far as everything that you've been doing that we asked you to do. I said, okay, then what is my problem? He said, when is the last time, and this is a quote, people, a quote, my wife isn't here today, she's working, and so you're just going to have to take my word for it. And I know many of you sellers, especially power sellers, will know what I'm saying to be true, because you're probably experiencing, a lot of you, what I've been experiencing, because I've been seeing it in the eBay community. He said, well, he said, let me ask you, when is the last time you took your items and didn't revise them, but you started to end them and sell similar items? In other words, update them, but do them as a new auction. I said, okay. I said, I knew that's what you was going to say. I said, let me ask you something. I said, what did you guys just recently do? I said, I know you're moving this merchant seller buyer thing in. I said, I've heard a lot of negatives about it. I've heard very few positives about it. I said, but you know, we're down. We'll do what we got to do to go along to get along. You know, of course, we'll do it to what benefits us. In other words, I'll put my account, business account, separate from that account, so eBay can't take out my money. Anything that really matters. And I said, okay. I said, so what is it that you're telling me? I said, are you telling me that out of my 3,952 items, and keep in mind I've been pushing the store on the electronic side, eBay, for only the last year and a half, 3,952 items, singular, and then you add in the multiples, 4,298 items or so. You want me to end all of them and relist them? No. No, I want you to basically consider taking and closing down a few hundred items or a thousand items here or 1,000 items there, so you don't lose all your listings at once. But consider ending them little by little and revamping them by putting on new auctions. Make them a new auction. I said, okay. I said, I hear you, but I want to make sure I'm on the same page with you. I said, basically what I've been thinking is since the last update, you put in a barrier for those of us that are old-time sellers. And that barrier basically is that in some way you're taking our items and hiding them because something you've done has moved the listings around. And he said, well, sir, he said, what it basically is, and I've got a couple sheets of paper, okay? This is a small demonstration. This is eBay when you list an item, okay? And let's see if I can keep this straight. When you do a revision, you put a layer over your new listed item. If it is a item that has already been listed, okay? In other words, if it's been listed, relisted every 30 days listing. Okay, and he said, sir, if you take and just let that item relist, it adds another layer over the listing that you've listed. He said, what we recommend is, since you have had items on there that probably a couple hundred or about a couple years old or maybe a little older, because we have a lot of items, guys, vary from toys to coins to currency to comics. Okay, some of those things are slow dog movers. But he says every time you list that item, when it comes out, it starts out as basically level 1. When you relist, it becomes basically, and this wasn't his words, but this is the idea, and this is the easiest way to explain it, a level 2. If you say, oh my God, it's not selling, you put it on there. Well, instead of going up back to the top where it should, it makes it another layer down, level 3. And this is my terms, levels, okay? So the one he used, but it's basically you put paper over paper over paper. Okay, and then that thing relists yet again, that's older since the new algorithms. Puts it below level 4, relist 30 days, level 5, relist 30 days, level 6. The only way to move it up a little bit, put it on promoted listings, or shut the thing off, end it, which is what you need to do. And I know it sounds awful, guys, but it's not as bad as you think. End all of your listings now. This is the only way to reboot your sales at this point. Unless you find some other way, I'd like to hear it, please. Because I'm a power seller, and I'd like to get your help and your words as much as hopefully my words help some of you. In those listings, don't delete them. Take those listings, go through those listings one by one, start selling similar. Don't relist them, don't revise them. Now, if you revise an item that you just listed, it's not going to do this layer thing, because he said within the last 6 months, it's only the ones that are older than the last 6 months. Now, I'm taking him at his word. I'm taking him at the way I and Kathy understood him. I'm taking him also that I question him. We seem to come to a meeting of minds, same thought patterns, same page as it was. But he said if it's been since the last 6 months, and that's when I've seen a lot of people complaining that their sales have started to tank. Now, you'll see a lot of guys on eBay or eBay sellers on YouTube that will say, hey guys, my sales are doing great. I'm going out here to the garage or the shed or to the store, and I'm pulling this item, I'm pulling that item from my shelves. Why are they doing good and great on their sales? Well, I'll tell you why. If it's a brand new item, the item is right here. It's seen right here, right now, somebody can get it. If it's an item that's over 6 months old, here you go, relist, 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 revision, editing, okay? You're getting pushed down, whereas somebody that's not is right here where we can see it. Promoted listings give you an increased viewage, but again, if it's over 6 months, you're still being pushed down, okay? So what you need to do, if you want your sales to rebound, now I know some of you guys like myself, it's very frustrating. Me and my wife was aggravated. We're thinking about hiring another girl to help us out a little bit, or guy, employee, to help us get back on our items. But what you need to do is, when you sell those similar, go through and start from the ended auction listings or ended listings page. And you can do this by going to items or listings over here, about third item to the left. Go to it, go down to listings, and when you've ended those items, go to the items that are ended. They'll come up. Go in there and go to sell similar. But as you go through sell similar, make sure that your specifics are up to date. Make sure your photos are good. Make sure your sizes are on. Make sure your description is strong and proper. Make sure your keywords are in your title. Make sure your prices are up to date. Your shipping cost is up to date and in line with what should be. All these things are going to give you a boost. If you look nowadays, they've got, with the new algorithm, you'll go down and say, what age group is this for? 392,000 people look for what age group this item sells for, at least with us with toys. Well, a lot of our toys sell from the 5 to adult categories, collectors to kids playing with it category, so we mark all those. Mark every specific item notifier in the bars, in the boxes. Mark those specifics as best you can, because those specifics are going to save your soul in sales. They will increase your sales. Before my decision to basically end everything after I talked to him, he didn't want me to end them all, but I went ahead and did it because I don't have inventory control enough to sit there and say, okay, I've done this 1,000, I haven't done that 1,000, because things end on eBay continues, like something that continuously ends. So I wanted to make sure I started out on a flat, level playing field. And I'm sorry about the length of this video, but I got to get this out to you guys. It's important for your sales. And if you're dependent upon eBay and other venues like I am, this is important for you guys, because your finances are in line with it and at stake, and your household income, is at stake. But in those items, sell similar. Update the specifics to the best you can. Make sure that description is good. Check that price. Check those shipping costs, and make sure your seller return is set at seller, because that way if somebody says, hey, this doesn't work for me, I want to send it back, you accept it, because they'll automatically accept it if you're like us. And you'll take the hit there, but they can't give you negative feedback. They can't hit you in any way on that other than basically a return item. Okay, what are you going to do when you do mass sales? That's part of the game. But do that. Sell similar. Sell similar. Sell similar. Because if you sell similar, it starts a new, fresh listing. If you don't, your sales are going to go down. And I know many of you guys, like I said, that are power sellers are going to say, oh my God, I've got 10,000, 20,000 listings. Guys, it's only going to help you in the long run. If you can find a better way to mass batch them up, delete them or end them, batch them back on massively, and then, you'll get a new number for that item, and that'll help you out in your sales. But this is the reason. eBay's updates and all that they've been doing, tax updates, and this recent update with all these little things is what's pushed those of you guys down that's like me, has had several hundreds, if not thousands of items online for longer than 6 months. I myself have done experiments. In the last 2 days since I've been doing this, I've had a sell every day. Okay, now granted, I'm back up to only $9,000 compared to $70,000 currently. I'm only 475, 80 items up compared to 3,900, but I'm doing it one by one so I can check everything. You do it how it works for you. I'm sort of a meticulous individual, and I like to see that everything is done and done properly, and where I won't have to, Lord willing, do it ever again. But what you've got to do is make sure that you take and start relisting those items through the sell similar button, because that's very important, because whatever they've done has put us at a I want to call it a disadvantage. But my sales, since I've been doing this, has been happening and starting to pick up every day since I've done it. I would not tell you to do it. My name's Darren. Many of you know me through the internet, through the store. My name is Darren, and I own Madcaptoys, and I would not tell you to do this unless I believed it was for your own benefit. And if you do this, you're going to see your sales pick up, because I myself before this had noticed that I might make out of the last couple months, let's say I've sold 100 items, which used to be nothing. Now it's a good month. It's up the last month. In a month. Well, out of those 100 items, I started seeing less and less were older listed items, and more were just listed items. Have you noticed that? If you've been selling a lot more just listed within hours, or within a day or two, or within a week, you've been selling a lot more just listed, and I'm talking within the last month or two, compared to what it used to be, where you'd sell more older viewed items, or older items that had hundreds or thousands of views. It's because the newer items are being seen now. Your older items are being layered upon layered upon layered. I'm talking the items within the last couple months since they've done the updates. So you need to drop those items and sell similar. However your system works, if you've got the man hours to do the batch files and have somebody check everything, make sure your metrics and everything is all set up, that's fine. Do however works for you. But this is the way that your sales will rebound. I've talked to them at eBay. I've had to call them like the last 4 weeks 4 times to talk to them and say, what is the deal? And every time I'd call them, my sales would pick up. Well, guys, I took the bull by the horns and I led the bull around this time. And this time we've decided to take action. And the only way to play on eBay is play through the games that they set up and work through their metrics and their algorithms. And when they're allowing, because of something they've done, to favor the newer buyers and sellers, or the newer sellers, because a lot of the sellers are newer with mass items not really being on. I don't count 100 or so items being mass seller. They may sell a lot or claim to sell a lot, but at the end of the day, those that have thousands on are the mass sellers, okay? I seen one guy, poor guy that we was talking to, had over 100,000 items on. My God, I feel sorry for him if he has to do all this. And hopefully he has enough people to batch it up. But what basically is going to need to be done is take the bullet, bite it now. This may be a bad month or 2 for some of us. But you know what? If you're making sales, it's better than having 2 or 3 days without sales. We had a 2-day period just last week with no sales. And guys, it's been years since I've had it with no sales in 2 days. Once in Blue Moon, we'd have a day. But usually, at the worst, we get 3, 4, 5, 6 sales. I'm just telling you, this is what I was told. I'm telling you so that you can change your life for the better, hopefully. And anyway, let's move on from here. If you guys appreciate this video, if you think this video has been helpful to you in any way, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up. If you like this kind of information, and again, it's coming straight from the horse's mouth, as you want to say, comment. We need your comments. It helps us to know more information of what you'd like to hear. Do you want to hear more of this when we catch on to it, or we talk to eBay, or we go into the eBay community and discuss things with them? Give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. It helps move along. Share this word. It helps us. If you got eBay sellers that are having struggles with their sales, and I don't care if they're old, they're new, they're power sellers or not, it's not really hard to be a power seller. I believe it is now the current standard for being a power seller, a year, a 12-month period. If this has been helpful to you, we ask for a thumbs up, we ask for a comment, we ask for you to share the video, share the word, because YouTube's algorithms is set up against those of us that sell or talk on YouTube and are smaller YouTuber channels. But also, not just that, we'd ask for you to subscribe, because we've got more videos coming out dealing with anything and everything toys, any and everything eBay. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. You guys have a great and wonderful day. I wish all of you guys the best.